Hello guys, good evening. Alright, so this video is to show us how to cut our collar. Now here is my collar gum, but before then I will have to measure my shirts. Now the neck of my shirt is 18, so it has to be extra 2 inches, that's 20. So I will measure all across that way. I will make sure I don't stretch the fabric, so this is 20 extra 2. This extra serves for the bottom allowance on both ends. Then you have to mark 20 here, that's 10 for the collar base, right? So you mark 20 there, that's 10. Make sure it's 10. Then mark 10 there, 10 inches there, and then you mark 1/4, that's 1.2 for the size of the collar base, 1.2. Then after this, you now connect with your straight line. So this is my collar base. You connect the straight line as shown. Then connect this point, this form as well. Then after this, you have to mark 1 inch in for the collar fall. So from there, you come in by 1 inch. Remember, it was 20. Then for the width of the collar fall will be 1.7. That's 1.5 plus extra. Then here is 2.5, right? Or then 1/3 and 2.5. Then connect in this form. Then bend your pattern master this way. Make it to have a curvy connection. This up area should not be straight. It should be curvy in this form. Then curve as shown. Then you have to fine tune the collar base, come up by 1/2 inch and also come down by 1/2 inch, or you can still use your freehand sketch and make a curve at that edge, but then it's advisable to come up by 1/4 inch and then you curve in this form just to make it to relax or to fit in properly when it's being buttoned. Then this is a simple method to use and cut your collar. Make sure that your collar measurement with your neck measurement on your shirt must be perfect. Then follow this process and you won't have any issues again on collar drafting. And make sure you use your collar gum. I have my collar gum here, so you make sure the collar gum is what you are using, and then it has different textures, medium, hard and soft. So this is a medium one. Then cut as shown. Make sure you cut all through this way. Notch the middle here and also notch the middle there. Just little notching, right, in order to signify the center joining. Then you bring the fabric you're using and then you come in this form, leaving 1/2 inch at the base of the collar base or the collar base. Then gum in this form. Once you are done in this form, then you have to trim off little excesses, but then make sure you leave certain inch for the sewing at the upside. Also leave at the both sides of the collar. So leave, then you fold it down this way, fold the down area this way, fold it all through this way. Now most importantly, that when you're folding, well, that area you have to go up by 1/2 inch, right? So you just have to fold in this form. And after this, you also bring your collar fall and place this way and also gum. Then make sure you use the matching points where the gum is applicable and place on the fabric, and then you gum all through this way. Then stay cut in this form, right? Make sure you give gaps in cutting. Then for the base, you are going to cut exact where you are giving gap is the up area and the sides of the collar fall, but the base is going to be exact of the material to the collar. Then cut into 2 because it will be used to turn up the collar. Then after this, also cut the collar fall, the collar base again. That's the second material. Make it a bit wider. Then go to your machine and stitch. Then this stitching is going to be a little off from the edge where the collar gum was gummed. Then give little gap. As you can see, the little gap I'm giving, this gap is to enable you turn this collar effectively without having any challenges. then stitch all through that way, then stitch all through this way. Make sure you give gap when stitching. And after this, you're going to trim off excesses in this form. So you trim off some excesses in this form, and then you also make sure your stitching was properly done. That's when you are done stitching this. So you're going to trim off some excesses this way. So trim off the excesses all through that way. Give little gap so that it doesn't get too close to the stitch line. Then notch the both points and then fling it in, making sure that the both edges came out properly. Then after you must have done this part now the next thing to do here is to top stitch. You're going to top stitch 1/4 inch off through the edge of the collar, and then you're going to stitch for the side and the up area, and then for the tip of the down side you're going to stitch tip. So I am using my machine foot to gauge the size. I am knotting the machine foot at the edge of the collar fall while I stitch. So make sure you retain the same coordinature that you had at the up area for you to have a perfect closure or finishing. Then after this is what I am going to do next. I will now stitch the collar base 1/4 inch first. That part I folded, I will stitch 1/4 inch first in that form, then cut my threads, right? I cut the excesses of the folds so that it doesn't get too bulky inside. So make sure you cut the excesses, the inner folding and not the one on top. The inner fold, as you can see, cut with the tip of the scissors, cut the excesses so that it doesn't get too bulky inside. Then cut your threads as well, and then carefully cut your threads. Then the next thing we do now will be to notch the midpoint. Fold into 2 parts and notch the midpoint. And then once you have gotten the midpoint notching, you're also going to notch the midpoint of the collar fall, and then you are going to lap the collar fall with the collar base. The collar base being at the top while the collar fall being in the middle. Then the both gummed areas must be placed on top of each other. Then you are going to stitch from this point. Then make sure you stitch all through this way. So I will get a clearer recording, a closer video of this for you to see. So look at how the stitching is being made and done. So you're going to stitch all through from the middle notching all through to the tip of the collar that way, and then you come back again from the tip again back down to the middle. So this is going to help you achieve a balanced collar without any edge being longer or being shorter. So stitch all through that way, and then cut the excesses, cut your threads, and then cut the excesses. So after you have done this, you're also going to complete the stitching as well from this other edge, right? From the midpoint you go all through that way. So from middle to middle, from middle to the end, from the middle to the end as well. Make sure you do this in this form so that it doesn't shift or push, except you're going to pin all through. You cannot stitch from one end to the other end. So after this, so the next thing you do here is to cut the threads as well. Then please, if you're a new time viewer, kindly subscribe to my channel, share my videos to your friends, invite them to watch Mr. Redefined Clothing on YouTube. This channel is out to teach you one of the simplest ways to do things that looked hard or impossible. You can actually learn fashion designing from the comfort of your home without having any challenges. Once you have learned the basics from a roadside or a fashion school, the rest can be learned online. Then trim off the excesses that way so that when you turn it in, it doesn't get too bulky. Then once you have trimmed it off in that form, then you go to your machine, then you iron. Then when you iron out all through this way, now the next you will do is to trim off the excess underneath collar fall, the collar base, the collar base. So you have to give 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, the inch you will use to attach this on the neckline of your shirt. So make sure that the trimming is equal. Then trim all through, then notch the midpoint, and then place it this way, and then place the collar in this form from the back, then start from the midpoint notching and stitch to one end of the other button allowance. So once you have done this, you also do the other one as well, and then make sure that the stitching remains that half an inch or quarter inch you might have left on your trimming when you were trying to trim the collar base. So when you have taken your time to watch this video should be able to have a clearer explanation on how to go about your collar cutting, collar drafting, collar gumming and fixing, so you will not have any issue anymore on how to do collars. Then make sure you stitch all through that way and then stitch all through to the end. So this is how to stitch this one. Then you can now start from the beginning of the other button allowance and lap it properly. Make sure there's no spillover or there's no unevenness at the edge. So once you have done this, the rest is now history. Then you carefully open up this part this way, and then you thread it from here, thread all through this way, and then make sure you are lining it firmly. The shirt's neckline should be equal with the collar fixing inch. Don't allow the shirt neckline to be a bit bigger or wider. So when you are fixing it this way, you make sure you don't have any foldings or rumples at that tip. So you must take your time to watch this video before you can start doing your own collar. Please kindly give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this video, and comment and tell me where you're watching from, and let me know that you are having knowledge of value from this video. Then you now carefully top stitch the tip of the collar from the inside, right? Because you make sure the top stitching is closing the first threading you have done initially. So these are more what you are going to do on your own page, on your own shirt, and your own stitchings. So if you have done this with my videos, you need to repeat them over and over again for you to understand how this shirt is working. So you top stitch all through that way. Don't also forget that you're also going to top stitch the point of joining from the collar base and the collar fall on top. You top stitch all through that way, and then your collar is set and done. Now the next you will do is to go and iron. Now be in mind, in ironing you don't fold them equally. The collar fall goes up by half an inch more, then you iron out properly. So this is how my collar is. So you must make sure you also top stitch this tip, this edge I'm sewing now. So I top stitch from the beginning of the other shirt allowance, button allowance, to the end of this one now. So this is how you can fix your collar. Then the next is to iron out, to fold the collar and iron. Then this ironing must be done carefully and make sure it doesn't burn or it's not equal. So this is how my shirt looks like. As you can see how the collar fall is coming up by half inch higher than from the center folding. So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you in my subsequent videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button, share, like and comment. See you in my subsequent videos. Bye bye.